What's up, everybody? Of course, this week we're going to talk about the game of the week, and that is the Dallas Cowboys against the Philadelphia Eagles. We are going to break down both the Dallas offense against the Philadelphia defense and the struggles of the Philadelphia offense against the Dallas defense. And as our good friend Jimmy Johnson would say,
how about them Cowboys?
the Cowboys are rolling right now on both sides of the ball. And really what this game came down to was dominating the line of scrimmage. The Dallas offensive line was phenomenal. In the run game, just continuing to dent the defense in the run game. Not a bunch of huge plays. There were some great speed sweeps outside the pocket, but for the most part, it was just denting the defense and then providing great protection for Dak Prescott. On the flip side, you're going to see some of the things that Philly does well, but at the same time, the things that have been getting them beat here over the last 2 weeks. So let's jump right into it. All right, so Dallas starts with the ball here. Starting this bunch formation, motion Brandon Cooks outside. So now they spread out into this 3-by-1, and they run this play that we used to call Leo. It's basically triple slant. Triple slant. So you see tight end, CeeDee Lamb in the slot. Everybody's just running, 3 to 5 step slants, in cuts, and Dak's just reading it inside out. Tight end to CeeDee to Brandon Cooks outside. Philly actually does a nice job of covering this. Offensive line really stout all day long inside. It started off with the very first snap. So Dak just aborts, finds his running back. Even though there's nobody open on this first play, you find a completion. So here you are, six-yard completion, 2nd and 4. Motion empty. Man, I love empty. It really forces the defense to spread out, kind of gives the quarterback a really clear picture. And you can't go wrong getting into Tony Pollard's hands, especially early on. I think what you're always thinking about with the defense early on is, man, how do we shift and motion them, make them communicate, make them make adjustments. Hey, let's spread them out. Let's throw different personnel groups at them. Let's throw different formations at them. Let's just make them have to really think and adjust. And also, from an offensive coordinator's perspective, let's try to see exactly how they're going to play us in different situations. So in this case, it's man coverage. How do you know it's man coverage? Well, you motion the running back out, and who travels with him? A linebacker, right? So hey, it's man-to-man coverage. So what does man-to-man coverage now give you? Well, you know that you're going to love this speed sweep. Why? Because when you race this guy in motion, we used to call this turbo motion. So you get him going really fast. Obviously, there's somebody who's got to chase him. So here's Darius Slay having to navigate his way here to chase the motion, and then from there, man, you've got all these blocks kind of set up. You're either going to block here, or you're going to run him off, and inevitably, what's going to happen is this guy is going to be the one who's going to have to make the play because Darius Slay is going to have a hard time running across the formation to make this play. So really, it comes down to this guy. But man, his eyes are locked on his receiver. What if his receiver bluffs and goes running out here? He's got to be ready for something like that. So watch, actually, I think this is Bradbury. Watch his reaction and then how it just kind of springs this play. He ends up jumping inside, really hesitating for a count as the guy who he's covering is blocking down on this defensive end. And that's really what allows the receiver to get outside. And this is the biggest run play of the game for the Dallas Cowboys. 3rd play of the game here. All right, 4th play. Man, this is what Dallas does so well. I mean, this is one of the more simple run plays that you could be running. It's just inside zone weak, right? Inside zone weak. So we'll go to the back shot. But here's basically what you're looking at. Pause. Blocking out. You're getting this double team right here, which these guys this is where you can really dent the defense. These guys are double teaming here. And these backers are responsible for these gaps. So you're going to see them accelerate into these gaps and try to force this running back to cut it back. Well, where's he cutting it back to? He's cutting it back to this defender. So this defender's job is he's really covering the tight end, but when he feels the tight end block out, he is attacking the line of scrimmage. And that's really where the ball carrier is supposed to meet this defender. And that's where the play either works or it doesn't. Can the running back make him miss? Can the running back knock him back? Or can the defender stalemate the back right there at the line of scrimmage until his teammates come and help him bring him down. But this is where the Cowboys are separating themselves right now. Tony Pollard accelerates. Man, he is like shoulders downhill when he gets to the line of scrimmage. I mean, Byard, who is one of the better safeties in the league, in my opinion, played against him a bunch of times. Physical, great ball skills. I mean, again, they're meeting right here at the line of scrimmage, maybe 1 yard past the line of scrimmage. If he can tackle him right there, it's a good play for the defense. But if the running back can make him miss, it's a 12-yard gain for the offense. That's where the Cowboys really separated themselves in this game. They were running basic plays, but they were executing it very, very well. And they were taking advantage of these one-on-one matchups. When the running back had to make him miss, when the running back had to go win, he was getting it done. All right. Later in this drive, again, just a very basic play, okay? You get a man zone read with having the tight end outside. So tight end starts outside. If a backer or a tight end or a safety runs out there to cover him, you know it's man to man. That's not the case. So you know it's zone. So what's he running? We used to call this Y option. So he can either break out or hook it up, right? Because the defender skates outside, he's going to hook it up. Dak could have hit him right there. Boom. But if he doesn't, what's the rest of the progression look like? Well, you've got CeeDee Lamb on, what you call this whip. We used to call it Saturn. Typically, the back might chip and then get out this direction. So, these defenders have to decipher between, who's covering here, who's covering here. But that's where the progression goes. It goes 1 to 2 to 3. Well, as you can see, the back doesn't get out and doesn't really give Dak an option. But, man, the protection's great. So Dak is not really under duress, but he feels like, I'm going to get outside the pocket, try to create a throwing lane for myself. And then here's CeeDee doing a nice job of just outrunning these guys to the sideline and makes it look like an easy touchdown. I mean, it's a very basic play. Dak has to get to the third progression, which, the back doesn't get out for him. So he turns it into a scramble play off schedule. And this is what they did all day. Here we are on the second drive of the game now, 3rd and 9. And this is really, honestly, one of the few just big pass plays in the game. I mean, for the most part, the Dallas Cowboys just ran the ball well. They protected really well. Dak took the kind of the regular completions, the just in rhythm completions. And then on an occasional 3rd down, they'd make a play like this. This is just a matchup that I think you'd be looking at every time. Hey, it's 3rd and 9. I like the defensive structure, actually. It's a 3-man rush, so you're probably not going to get a lot of pressure on the quarterback, but basically what you're banking on is, hey, he's going to have to hold it. He's going to have to make a tight window throw. We like our chances. I'd say the one mistake that they made was this defender over CeeDee Lamb should be maintaining outside technique. Even when CeeDee makes this inside fake, maintain outside technique. Why? Because you've got these defenders that are inside, okay? You've got this safety that's dropping down as what we call a robber or a thief. This safety is getting back to the middle. And then basically everybody else is just man-to-man. But we call this one funnel, cover one being man, funnel being, hey, we're trying to funnel everyone into the middle of the field because that's where we have our help, right? The key to defense, especially being in the secondary, is just know where your help is. Your help's inside. It's not outside. That's why Dallas is able to make this play. Keeps the drive going. Look, nice throw, nice route, great execution, but defense shouldn't let it happen. Man, Dak's able to be in rhythm, great protection up front. Again, it's only a 3-man rush. Nice job. All right, so they go down and get a field goal on that drive. Here we are, 3rd drive of the game. So Philly's defense plays this perfectly. All right, it's a quarter structure. So what do we mean by a quarter structure? you basically have this rainbow right here, or this shell, right? So he's responsible for deep quarters, deep quarters, deep quarters, deep quarters. A lot of times these guys will have different rules. These safeties will have different rules, just depending on, what the route that's being thrown at them is. When this guy pushes to a post and you feel some sort of a threat here, at times this guy will grab that, which is exactly what happens. Slay, they trust, obviously one-on-one with anybody. So they're going to let him run with the post, which he plays over the top, plays it well. So then from there, I mean, look, covered, 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 but Dak is in rhythm. Hey, he's looking here. One, doesn't have it. Two, doesn't have it. Three, he's just getting to his check down. Now, this is a play where, man, defense, yeah, maybe you're not right on him. Maybe you're back here just in the event that they're trying to throw something here and you want to, make them throw it over the top of you. And then you're just going to rally and tackle. But if you're going to rally and tackle, you got to be able to tackle. Instead, running back's able to go and get the first down. So again, just an example of a play in the game where Philly's defense plays this perfectly. They've got everybody covered, and yet Dak goes through his progression. He's got great protection. In rhythm, he hits the running back, gets 6 yards, first down, continue the drive. Once again, Philly, perfect defense. Okay? This looks like it's actually a free safety pressure. Looks like it's a zone pressure based on the corners are making it look like man at the snap, and then they're bailing. But it's really, here, we'll go to the back shot. It's a better view. It's really just a weak side draw play, run play. Watch the aggressiveness of the offensive line. They're securing these double teams, and there's these double teams on both of these inside tackles right here, right? Your double team there, your double team here, working up to there, working up to there. But this guy's unaccounted for. So you hand it off to this running back, and it's a design, scissors play, design cutback play, and he's basically now one-on-one with this safety. That's where the play is either going to be made or it's not. And once again, Philly is in great position, as they have been on a couple of these other plays. But what happens? The Dallas offensive player just makes a great play. The running back makes a great play. The receiver makes a great play. It's just execution here. Philly should have this dead to rights. They've got a safety right there to make the play. In a lot of cases, it's not about plays, it's about players. Just trust the scheme, trust the technique, and just know that in most cases, you're going to end up being one-on-one at some point. You got to make that guy miss. So Dallas, the second time Dallas did this speed sweep, they did it with CeeDee Lamb this time. I like these plays, especially against aggressive defensive ends who are going to be so tuned in on the pass rush, which, as you pause this, you got Hassan Reddick here, you got Josh Sweat here. These guys are, man, just pin their ears back, rush the passer kind of guys. So sure enough, what do? Well, at the snap, tackle just kind of throws at his outside leg. You're trying to get this guy to go inside, right? You're trying to make him think, man, I've overset and I'm going to beat you inside. Well, you're doing that purposefully because you know that you got this outside run play. And what are you doing? You're blocking down. You're going to arc the back to seal that block. And again, this becomes another one of the bigger run plays in the game for the Dallas Cowboys. And just execution. Hitting them with tempo as well. Get to the edge with speed with your playmakers. Again, nothing special about this run play. Everybody in the league runs this. It's just weak side, inside zone. Okay? So I'm going to pause it here. Same thing here. We got this double team to that backer. We got this double team to that backer. You're just assessing what's happening here. Is the tight end working up to the safety and the end is required to make this play? Or are we going to block out and we're just going to let this running back be one-on-one as he cuts back with this safety? Well, it's worked out for him thus far. Let's see if they do it again. Sure enough. The tight end ends up just shielding this guy for a second. Maybe he's a kind of an RPO option in the event that this safety just triggers right now, blitzes, what have you, and then that becomes your outlet. But nonetheless, and Philly's got a good defense for this. They react quickly. I mean, the end plays this as well as he can. The safety reacts really quickly. You basically have the free safety now who is truly a free player. Who's, because we're in the tight red, he's obviously close to the line of scrimmage and he's making this hit. So you're getting hit, and yet you got the ball at the 5-yard line. You got 3 hitters, and now you're at the half-yard line. Execution. It's just execution. Watch from this angle. And just speed at which Pollard hits this, the speed at which he makes this decision. In so many cases, man, you're feeling this, These guys are hitting their gaps, and you're just riding this wave, man. You're riding this wave, and you know you're going to have to run through these guys. So this 2-minute drive, I love it. 51 seconds left. All right, 3rd and 7. You're looking at the front. Looks like it could be a 5-man rush. They end up just rushing 3 and then just kind of hugging with these other 2 backers. Man-to-man across the board. It's just a really good, in-rhythm, accurate throw by Dak Prescott. You know, as you're assessing this, again, just decision-making for Dak. All right, here's Darius Slay, one of the better corners in the league. All right, so you're off that matchup. You know, here's CD, but he's really somewhat being doubled inside here. So where's your matchup? Well, that's Brandon Cooks, man. Brandon Cooks can run. Brandon Cooks can transition. Going up against their 3rd corner here. I love that matchup. Ends up getting a face mask as well, but makes the catch. Nice play. Good decision. Throw this ball in rhythm. So much playing the quarterback position is just about making good decisions and then trusting your technique. Nowhere to go with the football. Let your feet talk to you. Your feet are going to tell you when it's time to throw, when it's time to cut it loose. Nice. All right, later on in that drive, man, I love this. Just a single high zone pressure look. They're going to pressure this backside. That doesn't matter. You got the back there stepping up to pick it up, you know, rotating this coverage a little bit so you know you got this single safety. And then here you are just with speed, screaming down the field, reading 1 to 2, 1 to 2, right? You really want to throw it here. You love this matchup out here. Outside technique by the corner. You got one of the fastest guys on the field running up, giving this little nod post. CeeDee Lamb, big piece of cheese running across the field. Try to occupy some attention so you get this one-on-one matchup outside. But watch Dak's rhythm and feet here. He's a left foot forward guy, so it's that little skip. 1, 2, 3, hitch, rip it. As he's getting hit. Hitch, rip it. Man, you got to trust this thing. Look at when he throws it. Man, you're trusting it. That's why you sit here after practice and just rep this thing about 5 times in a row. You want to know exactly where that receiver is going to be, exactly where you need to go rip that ball. you know if this free safety, even for a second, just hesitates, especially if he flips his hips, man, you are ripping this thing right there. Bang. Let's go. So I point this out because I saw this a couple times this week in the NFL, and that is, man, it is hard to play DB in man coverage down here in the tight red zone. Why? Because everything an offense is going to do is going to be designed to pick or basically screen you as a defender. So look at honestly both sides. You know, let's start down low here. It's basically in most cases either double in or double out. In this case, down here, it's going to be double out. This receiver is going to come down, try to create some interference, and then he's going to run a corner. This guy's going to, what we used to say, step on a few ants and then break out here. And how are these guys going to communicate this thing, right? Well, let's just watch down here to start. And they pass it off, as they should. They're talking, they're communicating. They know that these receivers are lined up, what, 5 yards apart, 4 or 5 yards apart? Man, of course there's the threat of getting picked. So, man, we're talking, right? My guy goes out, your guy goes in. Man, we're talking. Switch, 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 right? Just like you would in basketball. And play ball, communicate. Now let's look up top. Same thing's happening, but instead of double out, it's going to be double in. CD's running here, provide interference, and then we're going to run this, little post. We're going to step on a few ants here, and then we're going to knife underneath, right? These guys got to communicate, Here he comes. Pass it, right? So I'm going to grab him. You grab him. That's not what happens. Got to communicate, got to talk, especially when the receivers are 4, 5, 6 yards apart. That's a threat. I really don't think there's any other way to play it. If you're in the middle of the field, then I'd say one defender should be off and the other defender should be on. And that will allow you to run around those picks or those screens. But when you're down in the tight red, this stuff's coming. It's double in, it's double out. We're getting screened, we're getting picked. Then let's pass it off. Let's work together. But that's just great execution by the Cowboys. That's why you have a progression. You never know how they're going to play it. You might see something on film and you expect them to play it that way, and all of a sudden you get in the game and maybe that's a new DB. Maybe somebody got hurt. That's a new DB that doesn't have as much experience. I mean, you're looking to pick on those guys. But you don't know how they're going to play it. That's why you just go through your progression. Man, I'm looking at that knife. He's open. I'm ripping it to him. And if he's not, then I'm going to go to CD on this post. And from there, man, I'm going to scramble. Certainly not going to take a sack. Throw the ball away if nothing's there. Otherwise, man, let's go make a play. But if that first progression's open, let's hit it. So that's the story of the first half. Man, it was nothing earth-shattering. It was nothing overly creative or crazy. The Cowboys just executed their offense. Man, they trusted their playmakers. They dominated the line of scrimmage. They ran the ball really effectively. And when Dak needed to make some throws, he made some throws. I am down and willing, so I will find a way. It took a